You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth, the show that reveals facts, truth, research, and statistics and never messes around. We lay down the entire truth about everything regarding your Detroit and Michigan sports teams, no matter if it's good or bad. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no coddling, no pop culture, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website at MichiganSportsTruth.com, follow us on Twitter at Michigan_Truth, and like our Facebook page, The Michigan Sports Truth. The hosts of the Michigan Sports Truth podcast do not take any suggestions or criticism from any member of its audience on how it should be run. It is up to the host to decide what they want to cover. They also do not intend to be any amount of popular in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Additionally, the views of the audience, right or wrong, do not reflect the actual truth revealed on this program.
Tigers lose 4-2 here on this postgame edition for May 6, 2018 on a Sunday late afternoon, early evening. They lose 3-4 to the Kansas City Royals, the last place Kansas City Royals at Kauffman Stadium. They're now 3-5 against those guys thus far this season. It's all embarrassing. Tigers, I believe, are still in second place in the AL Comedy Central standings. And they are also in the wild card, still 5 spots out, as far as I can. Now they're in third place. The Twins have jumped them. The Tigers are now 6 spots out now at 14 and 19. The Twins, again, have jumped them by a half game. Not only in the Comedy Central division, but the wild card division as well. The Twins beat the White Sox at guaranteed rate field 5-3. The Tigers lose 4-2. Boy, do we needed that one. That's another big step in the tanking process. Let's keep it going. The Tigers are getting even closer to the Kansas City Royals, who are now in fourth place. Now the White Sox are 9-23. The Royals are 11-23. Man, now the White Sox have taken a turn for the worse, but the Tigers are catching up to them for that bottom spot, both the Royals and White Sox. Then you got the Cleveland Indians, 17-17, exactly 500 in first place. Yeah, that puts the cherry on top of the sundae, on top of the crap sundae, right there. They lost to Lewis's Yankees 7-4 at the new Yankee Stadium today. Lewis has got the rest of the standings on his National Sports Report later on. But today's game, I thought, was going to be a pitcher's duel, which I actually was not hoping for. But thankfully, Matt Boyd crapped the bed enough to lose the game. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits in 7 innings. At least he still has an ERA of exactly 300, may I add. Yes, Ron Garbagefire kept Boyd in the game for too long, because typically he's from the old school and he's too long in the tooth, just like Jim Leyland was as the Tigers manager in the past decade. Bad karma, as expected, bit them in the asses again. Here's another typical example. Here's another typical example of bad karma. The offense sputters again because they are bad in totality this season. They scored only 2 runs today. Last Thursday, before their 10-6 loss, those airheaded and loyal coward sycophant shills at Fox Sports Detroit were saying that the Tigers were manufacturing runs in their previous series at home against the Tampa Bay Rays. boy, were they way off as usual. The Tigers only knocked in an average of 2 to 3 runs per game, and it continued to be that way for the last 3 games after Thursday against those Royals at Kauffman Stadium. FSD has always been wrong on so many other points for years upon years in their entire era of broadcasting Tigers baseball on television. I personally can hardly wait until the ESPN television company in Bristol, Connecticut comes down on them and chucks the entire FSD crew into Lake Huron or the Detroit River at Belle Isle, where the now demolished Joe Louis Arena used to host Red Wings games. There are still many hundreds of fans that continue to carelessly be fans of the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers on-air talents, and they are hereby labeled slappies for it. I simply wish they'd stop that crap. It's very annoying. They need to learn to shut their mouths and use their heads if they want to become real Tigers fans. Right? Because right now they care more about FSD's crew rather than the Tigers, than how the Tigers are doing. It's just baffling. There's definitely no historic comparison between the currency of Tigers baseball and television and its past years of George Kell and Al Kaline on WDIV Channel 4 in Southfield and its past Tigers television network affiliates. George and Al used to be so great and entertaining, unlike Super Mario and Pemba and the biggest shill of them all, Rod Allen, who has become a bigger homer than his past experience as FSD. Allen has sounded way worse than he ever was in his sorry-ass career. Can someone please terminate his contract and permanently throw him out of the broadcast booth? It's no wonder I'm boycotting FSD the entire season on forward until the chickens finally come home to roost. Not to mention Craig Monroe's stay positive and tip your cap taglines. Craig Monroe can second deck, just like Rod Allen. So can Jack Morris. Tigers' next game tomorrow at 8:05 as they hit the road to Arlington, Texas, where they play the Rangers at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, or Globe Life Park in Arlington. Michael Fulmer versus Matt Moore, who is really bad. 7 games played, a 1-4 record, a 7.67 ERA, and a 191 WHIP. I expect the Tigers to beat up on the Rangers, unfortunately, unless either Fulmer has an off day or the bullpen continues to blow yet another lead. They've blown lead after lead. They almost blew one last Saturday. They didn't have to blow a lead today because they fell behind 4-1 the last I saw it. Shifting over to hockey news, according to ESPN, Red Wings prospect Givani Smith, a second-round draft pick from 2016, was suspended for 1 game by the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League, for giving a middle finger to a player from an opposing bench who directed racial slurs to him during an earlier game. The Kitchener Rangers, a team that Smith currently plays for, addressed that there were quote-unquote physical threats on social media that contained racial slurs. The team only wanted to make sure he stays comfortable, Smith that is, and thus the 1-game suspension was for nothing but his own good. My take is this: anyone who directs any racial slur should be carted off to jail for a very long time, whether it's on social media, in person, or by phone, whichever, or text message. That's a very tough lesson to learn in society. It's very damn simple. There are a lot of humans that have very little or no dignity whatsoever in today's world. They need to act like real professional adults and get over things. That's it. I cannot sugarcoat this in any way. They need to be taught a tough, cold, hard lesson. Society in general. So, that's it for that's all of my truth for today. Now it's time for Louis Tenore's National Sports Report. Louis, take it away.
You got it. All right, so let's check out the baseball diamond. as it's Sunday, and of course a lot of afternoon games are taking place. Some have already ended. And we read it like this. First up, in that Yankees thriller this afternoon against the Indians, it was 7-4, and it was a walk-off home run by newest acquisition, Gilbert Torres, who together with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth. Shreve got the win, and Allen got the loss. I tell you, this kid's going to make things happen. Right now, going into the bottom of the sixth, Padres are leading the Dodgers 2-0. Elvis, Margot, and Ellis are due up. Bottom seven now, the Athletics are leading the Orioles 2-1. Castro is pitching, and Pinder is at bat. There's a delay in the action here between the Marlins and the Reds. The Marlins lead the Reds now 5-2. It does not say what inning it is. Thanks a lot. D-backs lead the Astros now 2-1. 1 out, nobody on. At the top of the seventh, Koch is pitching, and Gonzalez is at bat. Bottom of the sixth, Angels are having an easy time over the Mariners, 6-0. 1 out, nobody on. Ohtani is pitching, and Segura is at bat. The Rockies edge the Mets 3-2. Freeland got the win. Robles got the loss, and Ottavana got the save. Mets are in a slump lately. Ooh, boy. Blue Jays edge the Rays 2-1. Tepper got the win. Colon got the loss, and Usana got the save. What the? Okay. Giants edge the Braves 4-3. Suarez got the win. Sorniger got the loss, and Strickland got the save. Strickland. Okay. The Nationals edged the Phillies 5-4. Doolittle got the win, and Knowles got the loss. Pirates blanked the Brewers 9-0. Cole got the win, and Anderson got the loss. The Twins over the White Sox 5-3. Duke got the win. Rodney got the loss, and Rodney got the save.
Much needed.
Yes. Royals doubled up on the Tigers 4-2.
Also much needed.
Yes. Jonas got the win. Boyd got the loss, and Hernia got the save.
Thank God.
The Red Sox beat the Rangers 6-1. Sale got the win, and Hister got the loss, and so it doesn't help the Yankees much at all. Sure. And the Cubs will take on the Cardinals tonight at 8. Lester and Waka are your probable pitchers. All right, so now taking care of that, let's go to the standings right now and see where we are. And it gets more interesting day by day, even though it's only May 6th. So, here we go. In the American League first, the Red Sox are 25-9, have a one-game lead over the Yankees at 24-10. Blue Jays are 6.5 back at 19-16. The Rays 9 back at 15-17, and the Orioles 8-25. Already 16.5 out, and depending on this game. Okay, in the pathetic Central, the Indians are 17-17.
Comedy Central.
Yeah, two over the Twins at 13-17. Tigers are 2.5 at 14-19. The Royals are 11-23 at 6 back, and the White Sox are 9-23 at 7 back. My God, this division is pathetic.
Yep. But thankfully, the Tigers took one step downward.
Yeah.
To be a bigger part of it.
Yeah. Okay, in the West, the Angels are 20-13, and the Astros are 21-14. But the Angels are in first place by 6 percentage points, 606 to 600. Mariners are 19-13 and a half game back. Athletics are 17-16, 3 back, pending outcome of this game. And the Rangers are 13-23 at 8.5 back. Mm-hmm. In the National League, the Braves are 19-14, have a 1-game lead over the Phillies at 18-15. And when you look at this, the Mets have already gone back to third, even though it's only a game and a half out at 17-15. Nationals are 18-17, 2 back, and as bad as the Marlins are, they're only 6.5 out, but they're still 12-20. Mm-hmm. In the NL Central, another tight division here as the Cardinals are 19-12, have a 1-game lead over the Brewers at 20-15. The Pirates are 2 back at 19-16. The Cubs are 16-14, 2.5 back. And the Reds are, of course, a joke at 8-25 at 12 back. And in the West, the Diamondbacks are 22-11, have a 3-game lead over the Rockies at 20-15. Giants are 3.5 back at 19-15. Dodgers are 15-18, 7 back, and at 10.5 back are the Padres at 12-22. Ready. All right, so now let's check tomorrow's games. As we run down the schedule here, and it reads this way. Leading off tomorrow, your 7 o'clock games, or 7:05 game rather, is the Giants taking on the Phillies, 7:10. The Mets take on the Reds, so this should be interesting. 8 o'clock, Twins take on the Cardinals. 8:05, we have a pair of games. The Tigers taking on the Rangers, and the Marlins taking on the Cubs. 10:05, the Astros take on the Athletics, and at 10:10, the Nationals travel out west to San Diego to take on the Padres. All the way out west. All right, so now we'll turn our attention to, I'll go to the NBA first. We have 1 game ending here, and behold, the Warriors took care of the Pelicans today, 118-92 in Game 4 of the Western semifinals. Kevin Durant had 38 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Anthony Davis, not too shabby either, 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 1 assist. And coming up at 8 o'clock, the Rockets will take on the Jazz, and of course the players to watch are James Harden and Rudy Gobert.
What are the series statuses for the Pelicans and the Rockets series?
I believe now it is 2-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you check those online here.
Right.
Additionally.
And the Rocket and Western Semifinals Game 4, Houston leads that series now 2-1. With Game 4 coming up. And as for tomorrow's schedule, it reads like this. As the games get smaller as time goes on, there's 2 games on tap tomorrow. The Celtics will take on the Sixers at 6 o'clock, and that could spell the end of the run for Philadelphia this season with a loss tomorrow. And also
series status?
3-0 Boston.
Whoa. And
the Raptors could see their season come to run tomorrow against the Cavaliers at 8:30. Both games on TNT, and Cleveland leads that series 3-0.
I know that.
Yeah, of course. One series says it's blamed on overthinking. Well, it's possible. I mean, there is such a thing as thinking too much. Okay, so NHL, the Lightning took care of the Bruins 3-1, and I believe that ends the series at 4-1 in the Lightning's favor. And coming up, the Golden Knights will take on the Sharks. That series is, I believe,
3-2 Vegas.
Yeah, 3-2 in Vegas' favor. Oh, boy, this is going to be good.
San Jose almost came back.
Yeah, and I knew this was going to be a series. You know what, though? I think the Sharks are going to take it tonight. I still say this is going to go a 7-game series.
Me too.
So I'm not really all convinced that it's going to be a wrap tonight.
Well, I'm not necessarily betting on a rout, but the Sharks
of course
win.
not. No, but I think this had all the makings of a 7-game series right from the start with two hot teams that came off their last series, so I wouldn't put it past it.
Right.
But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, tomorrow's games, the Capitals will take on the Pens as the Capitals lead that series 3-2.
They got a chance.
They do. And the Predators will take on the Jets at 9:30. The Jets lead that series 3-2 as well. So we'll have to, we'll see about that. And one score in MLS as Salt Lake is leading Orlando 1-0. It's a light day in the MLS world. Go figure. All right, so now we'll take on the news items of the day. This just found out a little while ago. Dodgers pitching ace Clayton Kershaw goes on the 10-day DL list with bicep tendonitis. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts told reporters that the Dodgers are cautiously optimistic about Kershaw, who started to feel discomfort while playing catch yesterday. It was a move. If it was more of another part of the arm, there would be more cause for concern. But being it's in the bicep area, the team is more hopeful. That according to Roberts. As he told reporters, the move was announced before today's game in Mexico as they are versing the Padres. As a matter of fact, now Kershaw is back in Los Angeles for treatment. A longtime left-handed pitcher Rich Hill will be activated from the disabled list in the rotation lineup on Tuesday as they face the Diamondbacks. All right. Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina underwent surgery last night after taking a hit to the groin area on a foul tip and is likely to miss about 1 month. The president of operations, John Wozniak, told the dispatch, the St. Louis dispatch, that is, that Molina underwent emergency surgery to treat a traumatic hematoma that required immediate attention. The Cardinals placed Molina on the 10-day disabled list today. Molina left last night's game against the Cubs in the 8th inning after getting hit in the groin when Chris Bryant tipped a 102 miles per hour pitch from their reliever Jordan Hicks. The Cardinals recalled up Carson Kelly and Mike Mayers from AAA Memphis and also placed right-handed pitcher Dominic Leone on the 10-day disabled list. When it rains, it pours. All right, well, you know how some people, sometimes people slow down with age, but there's always a case in point where sometimes they don't. I'll give you my example right here. Case in point, 90-year-old, get this, 90-year-old Herschel McGriff became the oldest person to be sanctioned for a NASCAR event yesterday in Tucson, Arizona. And if that's not enough, he also led the event by playing the national anthem on his trombone. McGriff finished 18th in the oval as for driving for Bill McNally Racing sponsorship from South Point Hotel and Casino, according to the Tucson Star. McGriff's son, who also shares his namesake, served as crew chief, and his granddaughter competed in separate races on the track. McGriff by far is no rookie. He won 4 races way back when in 1954. It was now the NASCAR Spring Cup Series, so I call it the pre-NASCAR era. And last raced at the K&N Series in 2012, also finishing 18th at the Sonoma Raceway. McGriff has won 35 titles in his career. His last win was in 1989. That was the year I graduated high school. And for those who are saying, hey, wait a minute, isn't he kind of too old to drive? The answer is no, because NASCAR does not have a maximum age rule. So he was eligible. So, like I said, the old guy's got it. 90 years old, and, most people at that age probably wouldn't even be driving on the freeway. And this guy's driving in a NASCAR race. Oof. All right. As I mentioned before about the Jets and Predators series, now, of course, most people are going to think this series is over, right? Wrong. There is one case. Predators defenseman PK Subban says there will be a Game 6 win for the Predators tomorrow night in Winnipeg and returning to Nashville for a Game 7. Jets lead the series 3-2. Subban said, we are going to wake up tomorrow and this page shall be turned. We are going to Winnipeg. We are going to win this game tomorrow. This is coming up a 6-2 last night loss over the Jets. In the words of Mark Messier, I guarantee a win. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that one. Okay, well, good luck. All right, Raptors star player DeMar DeRozan got benched last night in the final quarter of Game 3, losing the Cavaliers. DeRozan went 3 for 12 shooting and only scored 8 points as the Cavaliers attacked him with double teaming and forced him to give up the ball. Coach Tyronn Lue said the team's game plan was to limit DeRozan and instead give space to Kyle Lowry, who scored 27 points. Coach Dwayne Casey did not discuss the decision with DeRozan on the bench or after the game. The coach, in his choice, not about DeRozan's poor shooting performance. He was the team's worst with minus 23 on the night. Joel Embiid said that dumb mistakes down the stretch last night caused them to lose Game 3 to the Celtics. The first error was caused by a pass from J.J. Redick with 8 seconds to play, and the score was tied. There seemed to be confusion between Ben Simmons, Redick, and Embiid. And those three are going to ruin this series. There seemed to be confusion between Simmons, Redick, and the turnover late in the game. Redick's pass was thrown without either Simmons or Embiid to receive it, as it ended up giving the Celtics a breakaway layup with just 1.7 seconds left, and that ending the Sixers' chances to win the game last night. Now they're on the ropes, down 3-0, and have to win tomorrow night, or this season, which had potential and promising hope, could go right down the toilet. So I'm hoping that it doesn't come to that. I don't know if I mentioned this last night, but Rick Rubio was upgraded to questionable for Game 4 versus the Rockets. The team will learn about Rubio after he sees treatment, as he was expected to receive treatment today. So we'll have to see how that goes. Originally, he was going to be out for the entire series. And as I mentioned last night, but again, when that happened, I didn't give him any chance whatsoever. All right, just a few more notes here. One is about Tiger Woods, actually. And I think you might find some hunting woes continue as Tiger fails to birdie at Quail Hollow. That was the Wells Fargo Championship. Woods failed to make a birdie in a round for just the 11th time as a pro, and for the first time since the final round of a tournament in Durrell in 2014. A few weeks after that, Wood had the first of his 4 back surgeries. There were no back issues to speak of this week at Quail Hollow, just a frustrating inability to find comfort and just enough wayward shots that he made just 10 birdies for the week. His final round was 74, his first score over par 12 weekend rounds this year. Aside from his missed cut at the Genesis Open, this will be Woods' worst finish of the year. His previous was tied for 32nd last month at the Masters. He was tied for 24th at the Farmers Insurance Open, missed the cut at Genesis, finished 12th at the Honda Classic, tied for second at the Valspar Championship, and tied for 5th at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. All right, so he's had good and bad this year so far. All right. He says, I hit the ball halfway decent today, he said. Hit some good drives and just ended up off the fairway. Some landed in the fairway, so I wasn't disappointed with that. Again, just not putting well and did not make a birdie today. I got shut out. For the fourth straight day, Woods needed more than 30 putts in his round, taking 126 for the week, and after hitting 15 greens in regulation yesterday, he managed just 10 today and hit only 4 fairways. He was just 25 or 56 for the week. Like I said, I do statistics. As well as Woods is hitting the ball off at the tee, he averaged 313 yards from the tee. He's not been accurate enough to give himself chances to hit it close. And when you're putting poorly, even hitting it close is no guarantee. I could have told you that myself, buddy. My uncle played golf, so I think I know a few things here and there. This week is the PGA Tour's signature event, the Players' Championship, a.k.a. the 5th Major, at TPC Swabgrass in Punta Verde Beach, Florida. Woods has not played there since 2015. He won the event in 2013 and in 2001. He was runner-up in 2000. His only other top 10 finish was in 2009. So, I don't know what people are expecting of him this time around, but you never know. It may surprise us. It's not so bad when you miss the greens if you miss them in the correct spots. It's one of those golf courses where you're on, it seems so easy because every one of the balls funnels into the correct spot. If you're not on, then you're always in the wrong spot, and it's a very difficult week. The PGA Tour announced today that Woods will play the first 2 rounds of the Players' Championship with Phil Mickelson and Ricky Fowler. Golf's 5th major. That's what they call it. Got another note here, and this one some of you might find interesting, some of you may not. On a rainy Saturday yesterday at Churchill Downs, anyone who stayed dry, and there's probably very few of them, and maybe justified the 144th running of the Kentucky Derby, could be considered a winner. I'll explain why. Sage futures bet on Justified at 300 to 1 odds yield $150,000. In sunny Vegas, one bettor won an even more important prize of $150,000 from a $500 futures bet on Justify, with the Derby at 300 to 1 odds, placed all the way back in February at the Win. I think that means steep win. While not nearly as big as the futures market for mainstream sports like the NFL or NBA, a futures market does exist for the Kentucky Derby. And in this case, one respected bettor was rewarded for his foresight and a call right to the top of the Wynn Sportsbook. I got a call from a guy I know, a very respected horseman, Johnny Alvino, executive director of the Wynn Las Vegas Race and Sportsbook, said on Friday's VSIN radio broadcast He said to me, Johnny, I got a horse. I want you to bet in the future book. I said, I'll give you 250 to 1 odds. He says, what? Come on, Johnny. I said, I'll give you 300 to 1. Now, he's sitting 300 to 1 on Justified. A big number. Oh, man. Part of the reason the high odds, as Elavio explained, Justified was one of 2 horses in yesterday's 1/4 mile who did not race at the age of 2, and the other was Magnum Moon. No other horse since Apollo way back in 1882 has won the Derby after not starting racing as a 2-year-old. Alabama confirmed ESPN that the ticket posted was legitimate. There is a larger backstory surrounding the ticket, as respected professional bettor Bill Kragenberger wrote in a recent article for Gaming Today. He confirmed to ESPN that his friend received a call with information about Justified 4 days before it broke Maiden, and that is information that was overheard lead to the large futures ticket win. Justified won Saturday's Derby, paying $7.80, $6 and a $4.40 win, place, or show. And the odds were 7-2 in that paper. All I can say is congratulations. All right, just let's see if we come up with anything else here.
This just in, the Lightning just clinched a ticket to the conference final.
Yes. How about that?
Yep.
Right.
Steve Yzerman, baby.
Yeah, great player at one time, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got some international world's hockey in that tournament. Canada bounced back from a loss to the U.S. in the opening game of the World Ice Hockey Championship by demolishing South Korea 10-0 today. Sweden made another step on way defending its title by edging the Czech Republic 3-2 for its second win, and Olympic champion Russia again displayed its offense might in a 7-0 rout of Austria. Norway defeated Germany 5-4 after a shootout, while Sebastian Aho was unstoppable as Finland made 2 straight wins by thrashing Latvia 8-1. Switzerland also has 2 victories after shutting out Slovakia 2-0. After losing 5-4 to the U.S. in a penalty shootout, Canada was ruthless against South Korea as the champions newcomer in Group B in Herning. Captain Connor McDavid scored his first goal of the tournament and 2 assists, and Tyson Post scored twice and assist to lead Canada. Pierre-Luc Dubois and Joe Edmondson also had a goal and 2 assists each. We did everything we had to do, those set by Connor McDavid. Just a route from that point on. Of course, that's most of the players who are not longer in the NHL playoffs are playing in this tournament, as it usually goes. All right, we'll just check the baseball scores before I hand back over to you in the afternoon lineup. As it goes like this. In the Wells Fargo tournament, I think I have the final results in. As Jason Day has won the tournament. He shot in the 4th round of 69 and won by 2 strokes over Aaron Wise. Overall, Day shot 272, Wise shot 274. And that earned him 500 FedEx points. And that takes care of that. All right, so now we'll just wrap up the scores for the MLB. Those are games that are completed, I should say. And we read this way. All right, and away we go. Right now, in the bottom of the seventh, the Padres still lead the Dodgers 2-0 with the runner on third, no one out. Baez is pitching and Hosmer is at bat. Top nine, the Athletics still lead the Orioles 2-1. I believe the game was just ended. The third out has been recorded. Kieran was scheduled to pitch and Davis batted. I think that game is now a final. Top eight, D-backs are still in the Astros 2-1 with 2 out, nobody on. Bradley is pitching and Reddick is at bat. Still on delay, the Marlins lead the Reds 5-2. The Angels now lead the Mariners 6-2 with the runner on first. Otani is still pitching and Zunino is at bat. And all the rest, I believe, now are a final. The only game left after this time will be the Cubs and the Cardinals at 8 o'clock. All right, so I have nothing further, so I'll hand it back over to you.
All right, so that's our post-game edition. Coming up tonight on the Weekend Review, Buck, Gino, and I will analyze the Givani Smith situation, the Pistons Stan Van Gundy situation, also the, of course, those Tigers getting humiliated by the Royals after taking 2 out of 3 from the Rays, and more. We'll have a guilty or not guilty segment coming up later tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Till then, for Louis Tenore, I'm Taylor Phillips. Follow me on Twitter, DT2Phillips. Will be our next post-game edition is going to be like either 11 or later on. It depends on how long the game goes in Arlington tomorrow night. So, Louis and I will be here. So, till then, TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The hosts of the Michigan Sports Truth podcast do not take any suggestions or criticism from any member of its audience on how it should be run. It is up to the host to decide what they want to cover. They also do not intend to be any amount of popular in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Additionally, the views of the audience, right or wrong, do not reflect the actual truth revealed on this program.
Mission complete.